Electronic devices are, without doubt, a huge facet of modern lifestyle. But what do they have to do with our sleep? Well, first of all, when our bodies get ready for sleep, our brain secretes a substance called melatonin. And what does it do? Melatonin is essentially a hormone that establishes the necessary conditions for sleep, and it regulates our internal sleep-wake clock, or the circadian rhythm. Now, the next question is, what does melatonin have to do with electronic devices? Studies have shown that electronic devices actually emit certain wavelengths of light that, as stated by Dr. Katwa, pediatric sleep specialist from Harvard Medical School, suppresses the melatonin secretion from the body, reducing sleepiness and therefore reducing the number of hours of sleep. The primary issue, though, lies in the flow-on effects, because as lack of sleep increases, our emotional stability decreases, as evidenced by Vernon et al. In the Child Development magazine, Chaput et al. Of the NRC Research Press, as well as field expert Dr. Katwa. This deterioration of emotional well-being then naturally affects our academic performance, a particularly important aspect in the lives of school students, specifically adolescents. When discussing matters relevant to sleep, it helps to first understand some basics of the circadian rhythm. This is a 24-hour cycle in physiology and behavior, influencing all activities in the body, from movement to sleep-wake cycles, hormonal rhythms, metabolism, and cognitive performance. This cycle can be set backwards and forwards by light, specifically blue light that is emitted from the midday sun as well as our electronic devices. The retina in our eyes have special receptors called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, or IPRGCs, which express a photopigment called melanopsin. These are maximally stimulated by blue light and least stimulated by red light. When it is dark at night, the photoreceptors that are accountable for translating light into signals send a message to the suprachiasmatic nucleus of the hypothalamus in your brain, or the body's circadian master clock, and other parts of the brain, including mood-related structures. This, in turn, makes your body release melatonin, making you feel sleepy. At the same time, the body's homeostatic mechanism results in accumulation of sleep pressure through the day, which also makes you drowsy and only resets when you sleep. The opposite happens in the day. Therefore, light when emitted from a device at nighttime can disrupt our cycle and prevent us from feeling sleepy. The circadian rhythm also directly affects cognition in humans. In addition, sleep disturbances have a negative impact on cognition and learning through multiple mechanisms, and even sleep deprivation for one night could potentially have a damaging effect. Fisk A. et al. Have proposed a scaffold to help conceptualize how light may influence circadian rhythms, sleep, and arousal to modulate cognitive processes. Understanding the sleep cycle is useful to better appreciate these mechanisms. Sleep is broken up into 4 stages, during which there is a cycling of REM, or rapid eye movement, and NREM, or non-rapid eye movement sleep. REM sleep is when we dream, and is important for our bodies to regulate and restore various physiological systems, and is also essential for regulating our mood and consolidating our memories. Light at night can affect mood by impacting on the circadian rhythm, disrupting not only sleep, but also other circadian functions, such as hormone secretion, neurotransmission, gene expression, and neuroplasticity, all of which have an indirect effect on mood regulation, at the same time negatively affecting memory, cognition, and stress response, Additionally, the IPRGCs also directly project to other parts of the brain which impact on mood regulation. Several studies have shown that electronic devices have an impact on sleep patterns, both by delaying the onset of sleep as well as reducing the number of hours of sleep obtained. According to Oshima et al., this in turn results in sleep difficulties, daytime tiredness, and poor mental health. Additionally, a 2018 Australian study on mobile phones in the bedroom worked out a key pathway whereby nighttime mobile phone use predicted future psychosocial problems due to poor sleep. As stated by Chang et al., the use of light-emitting electronic devices before bedtime has biological effects which cause disruption of the circadian rhythms, reduction of melatonin secretion, and therefore causes sleep deficiency with undesirable effects on alertness. To gain an understanding of the impact of electronic devices on sleep, cognition, and emotional well-being, I thought it was important to try and compare the perception of Australians, both adolescents and their parents, to collaborate the information gathered from both primary and secondary sources. My survey of 316 adolescents between 13 and 18 years discovered that 57% of them experienced less than the recommended minimum of 8 hours of sleep per night. 94% reported use of an electronic device before bed. This is corroborated by results obtained by the Sleep Health Foundation, who have found that in older adolescents, sleep duration has decreased to approximately 7.5 hours. Furthermore, my survey showed that 79% of adolescents believed that lack of sleep reduced their concentration, and 65% believed that it impacted their moods. My parental survey showed that 73% believed that lack of sleep had some negative impact on their child's learning, and 83% felt that poor sleep had a negative impact on their child's emotional well-being. However, only 25% feel that electronic devices have a significant impact on quality of sleep, demonstrating that a larger percentage do not realize that electronic devices affect sleep considerably, hence impacting academic performance and emotional well-being. These results have been supported by Australian statistics, revealing more than 70% of adolescents are using 2 or more electronic devices in their bedroom at night, as per the results of the Australian Broadcasting Corporation's Big Sleep Survey in 2014. Moreover, it was observed that approximately 50% of parents believe that poor sleep has a substantial negative effect on school performance and emotional well-being in their children. Yet, only 38% realize that use of electronic devices before bed have a negative impact on the quality of sleep, and 28% were unsure of any effects that using electronic devices have on sleep. The results of the surveys clearly show that the general public are quite aware of the fact that sleep is important for both our cognitive and emotional functioning. However, it appears that they are unsure about the ways in which electronic devices affect sleep, and therefore have a direct effect on daytime brain function and emotional regulation. This indicates the need for education of both adolescents and their parents. Interestingly, adolescents showed a higher level of knowledge about the negative impacts of inadequate sleep compared to their parents, but appear less inclined to make any changes to their sleep patterns. Both groups felt that education is best achieved through the use of videos or podcasts via social media. Posters were also considered effective. These survey findings are verified by the opinions of all experts. For example, Dr. Tirupati, specialist in pediatric neurology, stated that awareness programs in schools and videos on social media coordinated by adolescents themselves would be much more effective than adult guest speakers. Dr. Katwa, sleep specialist and researcher at Harvard Medical School, emphasized the importance of good sleep hygiene, with avoidance of electronic device usage at least 1 hour before sleep. This is concurrent with the recommendations of Kate Bartel, a clinical psychologist researcher in the field of adolescent sleep from Flinders University, in her meta-analysis of protective and risk factors for adolescents. This research has enabled me to develop a better understanding of sleep physiology, as well as the importance of the circadian rhythm and its function in determining good quality sleep. It has also been discovered that blue light emitted from electronic devices stimulates the photoreceptors in the eyes, thereby reducing melatonin secretion and duration of sleep. Electronic devices delay sleep, both through blue light as well as by keeping adolescents alert late in the night, particularly with social media activities. This, in turn, causes a significant effect on their mental health by affecting moods and causing anxiety and depression. There is also an adverse impact on cognition, affecting memory, alertness, and functioning due to disruption of the circadian rhythm, and delay and fragmentation of sleep. Hence, electronic devices used at bedtime have a significant negative impact on adolescent health. This is an issue that is of great importance to this age group and needs to be addressed, particularly by providing education for parents in order to monitor and encourage healthy sleep hygiene at an earlier age. This education is also vital for the adolescents, with the aim of changing their lifestyle and promoting well-being.